Never, ever, ever have I done that. And I would never think of doing that. I see a lot of stuff online, and honestly, when I see these videos, I'm like, no pro makeup artist does makeup that way. And it's really hard because these days you have so many influencers who are maybe getting into makeup and they're like, you know, I'm a makeup artist now. And it's like, how many faces have you actually worked on? You know, how many different skin colors, how many different age groups have you worked on? I feel like experience is gold when it comes to makeup artists. So for me, sometimes when I see these videos, I'm like, okay, but makeup artists don't actually put makeup on that way. So I'm going to be sharing with you do's and don'ts. Stop doing your makeup this way, basically. We're going to go into this side of my face. I have nothing on here. It's all clean. Nothing there. I do want to just put a little bit of eye cream on there because it's a little bit dry. Now, when it comes to foundation, I see this happen a lot, and you need to stop doing this because I know it's an easy habit to pick up from videos that you see online, but trust me, if you have ever had a makeup artist put your makeup on this way, I don't think, personally, that to me is not like, I don't know, unless it's like a new way of working, but it is not how people put makeup on. So, okay, let me use this. This is my Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. It's in 4WO. We do not do this. We do not go to a client and grab the bottle and put the foundation on like that. Never, ever, ever have I done that. And I would never think of doing that. Couple of reasons there. One, because I'm touching, or I'm using the nozzle and very close to her skin, and it's going to end up touching her skin. So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to obviously use that on someone else, right? So that's a no-no. Two, this is far too much foundation. I cannot begin to tell you the importance of getting the product even before it even goes onto your skin, getting an even layer onto your brush before it even touches your skin. So this is a no-no. Now I'm going to just lift this because I don't want to waste it. And secondly, when you do it this way, I've noticed people put far too much on. So we're not going to do that, right? Let's just wipe away what we've got there. Okay, so we've got this on the back of my hand. I would say this is more like two pumps, which I think it actually was. What we want to do is get your brush. You're going to get something which is kind of semi-dense. This is the BK Beauty 106 brush. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab a little bit of this foundation, pull it to the side. See all that foundation there? I've grabbed a little bit, put it to the side. We're going to get it into this brush now. We're going to really get it into the brush. Buff it into the brush before you buff it into the skin. Now what we're going to do is buff this onto the skin. And can you believe, out of all that foundation we pumped onto the face, and look, we've still got on the hand. I've dragged the smallest amount to the side and it is covered. It has given us this coverage. It has done the job. The tiniest amount, right? It's thin layers that you should be working in. Like when I see people do this, I'm like, okay. And you know, initially I used to think to myself, maybe they're just doing it for the camera, right? Maybe they are just doing it for the camera. And maybe when they're working on clients, these makeup artists, maybe they're not doing it that way. But I saw a few videos actually of different makeup artists when they've filmed when they've worked on a client, and they put it with the nozzle. And I'm literally sitting there in disbelief, like, no, you don't. Yeah. I'm telling you, any other pro makeup artist watching this video right now, you know what I'm saying, right? So that has just wasted a whole load of foundation there. Big no-no. Don't do that on yourself, right? I know that it may not be a problem for you when it comes to the hygiene because that foundation is only going to be used on you, but you are using far too much when you're squirting it onto the face, and you also are ending up not getting that nice even finish because you're just going in with a whole load and then you're trying to spread it out, and you're more concerned about getting all of that foundation mixed in than getting a thin layer and getting an even layer. So always make sure that you buff it into the skin first. Now, one thing that we do on clients that you don't necessarily have to do on yourself is we will even put the concealer on the back of our hands and then either get a brush and paint it on where we need to paint it and then blend, or we buff from the back of the hand and then put it onto your like under eye area. But on a client, I would not use the concealer stick, but on yourself, obviously you can use the concealer stick. That's fine. That's like totally up to you. I do that on myself too. Now, what I do want to add is you do not want to pack on the concealer everywhere underneath. What you do want to do is be very strategic with your application. So I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape. When you're working on yourself, don't have a lot of the product on the wand. You want to make sure that it's got a minimal amount, so not a lot. You're also going to work from this area here. See that? This is giving us some brightness there, but it's also not covering the entire under eye area. And then what we're going to do is add it there and then add a little bit here. Right? That's all we're going to need. Now, do not use a dry beauty blender. It's not the way that you use a dry beauty blender. What you want to do is use a spray that is tailored to the kind of finish that you want, right? So what I want is more of a soft matte finish. If you want a hydrating finish, then you can use a hydrating spray. In fact, I'll go for a hydrating finish. So I'm going to use this one. This is my Anua Blue Dewy Spray. I do really love this. You don't shake this, by the way, the spray. You don't need to. It's super hydrating. It's got hyaluronic acid in there. It's a PDRN spray. And it's very good at helping the concealer to set as well. Okay. Now this small amount of concealer is going to go a long way. See that? We have not needed to add so much concealer all over the under eye area at all. So that's as far as we need to go with it. So it really is a case of using a smaller amount of product. You don't need a lot. What we do is we are very strategic. So for example, if I'm using a concealer and I know I want a little bit more coverage from this, I will let it sit there for a little while on the skin. Do you see that time I was talking to you about what spray to use? I was allowing it to kind of marinate on the skin. So let it sit there for a little while if you want that extra coverage, because sometimes what happens is you put a concealer on and you immediately start blending and it's so fluid that it's just going everywhere and a lot of it's being soaked up by the sponge. If you let it sit there for a little bit, you're letting it thicken up a little bit. So what happens is it's not as fluid when you start blending. So it gives you more in terms of coverage. So it becomes almost a little self-set and you get everything you need to get out of the concealer without half of it disappearing in the sponge, right? So don't pack it all on and start blending immediately. Let it sit there for a second. By the way, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button because it really does help my channel out, and make sure you watch this whole video to understand all of the different things that you shouldn't be doing and the way you should be doing it. Another thing that makes a big difference and can be a little bit confusing for the average person is that you will watch videos by pro makeup artists such as myself, and you'll watch them doing makeup on themselves, and it may not everything they do may be how they do it on a client. For example, right, I would use if I'm using a contour or bronzer stick, right, on myself, I'd be quite happy to draw it on. On a client, I would never draw it on. One, because of hygiene, but the other reason is when you're working on a client, it's really like, I know what I'm doing on myself, right? And I'm okay. I know my face really well. But when you're working on a client, it's really about understanding the skin. And if you've not worked on that client before, like drawing things on their face is going to end up disturbing what's underneath, right? And if you don't know their skin that well, you don't know how it's going to react, right? So that's why the first time you do their makeup, or even if it's the second time you do their makeup, you're very careful. You're doing your best to avoid any kind of mishap or any kind of issue with the base, right? You want it to stay all day on her. You want it to be flawless all day. You don't want to compromise the base. So what I would suggest you doing on yourself is not drawing it on, and making it very, very easy. I know that when you think of not drawing it on, like the bronzer and the sculpt, that it's like, oh, isn't that going to take longer? Because if I draw it on, it's just very quick and then I blend it, right? But let me show you a really easy way. You're going to get your stick. Should we use this one? Let's try this. Yeah. This is the NARS Multiple Sculpting Stick in Laguna. Now, what I'm going to do is, rather than actually draw this on, and I'm sure a lot of you have these stick kind of contour stroke bronzers, right? We're going to get a brush. I'm using the Ilia Complexion brush. You can use a slightly bigger brush than this if you want. Anything which is basically semi-dense but it's a little bit softer around the edges is going to work really well. And it can be slanted if you want. That's absolutely fine. I like this one. What I'm going to do here is we're going to go onto this. Now, without fail, have a tissue. I've got a tissue here on my desk. Hit the tissue a couple of times. You're going to see all of a sudden a whole load of product on there. You don't want that. That would have been on your skin and would have been harder for you to blend. So make sure you hit the tissue before you hit your skin. So now we're going to get that nice sculpt. It's super easy. It's basically application and blending all at the same time. See how we haven't got that harsh finish? It's actually harder if you apply it with the stick, because what you're doing is you're drawing these solid lines and then you've got to work so hard to try and blend it in. Whereas if you do it this way, hit the tissue a couple of times, then you go onto your skin, you are getting immediate blending and this perfect sculpt that you don't have to spend too long trying to blend. So it's actually easier not drawing it on the skin. Have you subscribed to the beautybreakfastclub.com? It's my online publication. I think you're going to love it. Just type it in and head on over. I think you're going to really enjoy it. I think the phone and the desktop give you different experiences of the website, so you can have a look at it on your phone, but I think if you really want to get the most out of this site, then look at it on your desktop or your laptop. I think it makes a big difference personally because of the way that I've made it all look. So I write everything myself. There's a new newsletter every other day. It's all about beauty. If you love beauty, you're going to love it. If you love this channel, you're going to absolutely love that site, I promise you. There's a little bit like style thrown in, a bit of hair thrown in, a bit of culture thrown in, a bit of mindset thrown in, a bit of wellness, and there's also an over 40 section on there that I think you're going to love. And it's free to subscribe. That gives you access to one free newsletter every 5 days or so. But if you go for the paid version, it unlocks everything. But the best bit about the paid version is it literally costs you the same as getting one coffee a month. And the next best bit is that you get to join the group chat on the platform where you can ask me questions and I will answer directly. So yeah, and you get to meet so many amazing people on there. You're going to absolutely love it. You're going to be part of a community that you wish you were like, why didn't I join this sooner? You're going to love it. So head on over there. Okay, when it comes to blush, same thing. Don't swipe it on. Make it easy. Why are you making it so hard on yourself? If you're using a stick, same strategy as what I just used. Same thing. You do the exact same thing. If you're using something that is like a liquid or cream, then let me show you. So we'll use this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush in Pillow Talk. And this is like this. You would never use this to blend, by the way. Let's get a little bit of this out. All right, we're going to get 2 dots there. That's it. That's enough. Do not blend with that, whatever you do. So what we're going to do now is get a brush. I'm going to get my Fenty 145 brush, which is actually very good for liquid blushes. Now, what you don't want to do is go back and forth and slide around because you're going to ruin everything underneath. What we want to do is just pat. And the thing is, when you use a big, dense brush like this, it actually makes it so much easier. Look how quick that was. Whereas when you use a stipple brush, which I absolutely love, by the way, but I'm used to it. I'm trying to make it easy for you, right? So this is a pro tip for you. Use a very dense brush with your liquid blush, and it is going to be the quickest blend ever for you. This particular brush is absolutely amazing. One of my top favorites for liquid blush. So good, so easy. Really, really easy. So, okay, now let's move to setting. We're going to get our powder here. I do not want you to get your puff, put it into there, whack it on, and then let it sit there. Don't do that. Don't do that, whatever you do. It is just going to make you look older. It's not going to look youthful on you. It's going to end up looking cakey later in the day. We should ban the whole baking thing, honestly. trust me, is so drying on your skin, especially when you are older. So what we want to do now, we're going to use a puff, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take out the creases first. Make sure you do that. Do not take out your creases. Then, remember where we put the concealer? You're kind of putting it in those places and then taking it across here. Then what you're going to do, you're going to get a brush with nothing on there. This Real Techniques brush, the setting brush, is absolutely amazing for that. You're going to dust this off immediately. That is it. It's set. The under eyes are done. You don't need to touch it again for the rest of the day. It's done. You don't need to literally leave the powder there all day and then dust it off. Same thing on other areas. You don't have to do this everywhere, by the way. You just do it wherever maybe you get that, you know, it creases, right? And then you dust it off. Now let's just say you want to add a bit of powder here, but you don't want a lot of powder there. Get a big brush. You're going to dust a little bit of powder on here, and then you're just going to go over it, and that is it. Just a light dusting. People stay too long doing the same thing on the face. I've noticed that, like, people will just be like, you don't need to do it that much. You need to calm down just a little bit, and that's it. I see a lot of people setting sprays at the end to maybe soften the look, set it, or even like melt the powder in, which, yes, it does do that, right? But it all depends on the type of spray you're using and how much you're using. If you're using something to set your makeup even further, then just be careful that you're spraying it out before you spray it on your face. And also don't go OTT with it, because it can end up breaking down your base if you've applied too much of it and you've wet it all, right? Now, another thing is if you're going to use a hydrating spray because you want that extra hydration, then again, don't spray too much of it. You only need a small amount. You don't need to drench your face. If you're using something to melt the powder in, same thing. So I'm going to use this. This is my Anua Blue Dewy Spray. It's all about feel, right? You've got to have felt it on your skin. But see how my skin doesn't look wet? That's what you're going for, right? So don't go too heavy, and also keep the spray further away. It just needs to be a light misting of it. That's why I like this one, because honestly, you don't even need to shake it, but the mist is so ultra fine, you are never going to get droplets on your skin. So there you go. I just wanted to keep that very basic when it comes to your base. There are a lot of other do's and don'ts when it comes to makeup. So if you want to see anything to do with the eyes, brows, and other things, then please do let me know. Or maybe a bit more detail to do with contouring and stuff, let me know. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comments. Everything is listed in my description, so you can head on over and just get what you want. It'll click on the links and it'll take you straight to it. But also make sure you keep an eye out for the discount codes, because there's a lot of new ones down there. I don't want you to miss out on that. I am going to love you and leave you, and see you on the next video.